Here's a short video of how I installed a Premier Power Welder in my XJ. I put it here in the glove box. I cut out the glove box inner piece, as well as I notched this up about, I don't know, an inch, so that it clears at the top and has just plenty of room for everything in there. This is the bracket that it came with for this throttle adjustment. I had to shave off this corner of it so that it doesn't rub on anything, and I bent it, and I actually cut it a little bit shorter. I anchored it here with screws with nuts. It took me forever to do that because it's hard to reach underneath this. There's like a gusseting inside the plastic. So I don't know, there's probably a better spot. I liked the final product, but it took me a long time to get the nut on the back side of that. Maybe self-tapping screws would be easier, but the placement's pretty easy. Originally I had it shifted a little bit farther forward so it'd come out, but then there wasn't room for these wires when this was closing. Because of the way this plastic is gusseted, this is shifted this way a little bit more than I wanted it to, and it kind of rubs and it goes up. That's why mine's a little bit stiff. But if it was even just 1/4 of an inch this way, probably 1/8 of an inch this way, it wouldn't hit there, and then this wouldn't be a little sprung. But I actually really like it. It's pretty easy. I found this on a trail and had it lying around, so that's cool. Okay, the brown wire coming off the control unit needs hot wire when the key is on. This fuse, which is the second little one down, is that, I can't remember what it is at the moment, but it's like the radio or something. But you just get one of these little doohickeys, which uses the regular fuse and then takes the power and gives you another one. And that just plugs in right there. That's the kick panel on the passenger side. I ran all of the wires out the bottom. I just drilled a hole in the firewall right there. You can see where there's orange and blue wires. Now, those come out on this side right down there. It's right below the AC, these guys. And I actually silicone them all in place so that they don't get cut, they don't move, and it's pretty handy. As well as this wire, which is the throttle adjustment cable coming out the top. So this is how I have the throttle linkage hooked up at the moment. I'm gonna change it. So basically, you have to anchor this housing somehow, because otherwise when you pull the lever, this housing just shifts forward instead of pulling the throttle backwards. So I taped it to my throttle cable. It's kind of temporary. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right there, right above, kind of in between those two. That's the diameter of this. So that way this housing will it'll stop, because it won't fit through the hole. It'll stop right here. And then I left myself enough chain, so I'll be fine. To get the length for this, you pull the throttle thing all the way out, and then you just cut it off right there, and then you have as much as you need. You need the chain to the throttle linkage so that when you pull the throttle with the gas pedal, it doesn't have any extra resistance. I pulled this throttle linkage off. I spread out the end of this little thing so I could pop it over the ball, and then bent it back in, and it just fits in there really well. Their instructions are really good as far as like what to hook up to where, and everything is labeled. Like this little wire goes to the control unit, it's on the battery. This one, I took the label off, but it's the ground. This one, alternator, or battery I mean. This one, alternator. So everything is labeled really well. They tell you, so these are the original alternator wires. I just taped them up and they're zip tied out of the way. So this is the alternator down here. It fits, like it's got the same mounting sizes, but this is my alternator bracket. You can see I had to cut it out significantly. This drops down right here normally. So I had to cut this bracket out as well as this bracket here in the back. That's about it. It was actually really easy and intuitive. Their instructions were really good. This is just to show you how I hooked it up to an XJ.